everybody, JawsJr here for another outside the shop adventure. This material here is stuff from the Alvord Desert that we picked up. And it was basically found alongside of a road, and unfortunately it was at an area where there's a pretty bad car wreck. So what we're doing here is we're going to fill the 12-pound barrel up, and I don't care about rhyme or reason, hardness. I don't care. I am just going to load it up. And roll this batch. And whatever is left over gets put into the QT, gets put into the Harbor Freight tumblers. And eventually this is all going to be mixed up with another batch of material anyway. So I'm making sure I got room for some certain sized pieces. And not everything's going to get rolled. See? Probably not all those. There we go. Now, this is a before. You've seen kind of what they look like. And then you're going to see what they're going to look like in progression. This is the only batch of that trip that I think I'm going to film doing. We have some from the Stinking Water area. We didn't go clear down to Stinking Water. We went down a bunch of other places. That entire Stinking Water area down there is so full of material. It's incredible. And I'll let people go down and dig it, and we'll just go walk around and do surface finds. And that's what we did. So I've got a batch of that we're going to roll. And then I'm going to have a batch of wrong turn jasper pieces. That's going to get rolling as well. And I'm not going to... I might film those. I don't know. But that'll be a separate video altogether than this, because I'm tracking this mostly for my own personal reason. But if I go through the effort of filming it, then isn't it worth for you guys to see what I'm doing? So the next video, typical setup, probably 1 to maybe 1 1/8 cups of coarse grit. And then 1/3 of a cup of, or quarter cup of coarse grit in these guys, maybe a little less. And these need to roll for 7 days, so I'm just going to go ahead and roll this for 7 days and go from there. I've got to try to keep these batches together because some of these are going to be used to top off this barrel when it goes into medium grit. Right now, I don't know if it's going to be 1 or 2 cycles. I won't know until this is done. But whatever I do with that, this will happen the same thing with these. So, who knows? There might be enough taken out of this, reduced, that by the time I'm down to medium grit, if I roll this too coarse, I might just have everything in this one barrel. Again, I don't know what the hardest of this stuff is. It's all different. There's nothing in here that makes sense. Nothing is a typical batch of rocks that people want to polish. As you can tell, some of it looks kind of weird. I don't know what's going to take a polish and not. So this is why I do batches like this. So next time I'm in the area, I know what to pick up and what to leave behind. This is an education or an edumacation. Edumacation. There we go. Edumacation. I'm educating myself. Alvord Desert material, just out of medium grit. I ran this in 120 graded grit for my medium grit. And it's done, so I've got to get it rinsed off. You can use up all the grit. So I've got to get it rinsed off and ready to go into pre-polish. I'll do a quick rinse with you guys. So far, it's looking pretty good. Yep. I'll finish rinsing it off and get it put in pre-polish. The Alvord Desert material is done. Now, I was not going into this with any expectations. I didn't know if any of it was going to take a polish. I didn't know if it was going to fall apart in the tumbler. I had a bunch of unknowns. But that's why I tumbled it, to get that education, to figure this stuff out, to see, is it worth collecting? Is all of it worth collecting? Is only some of it worth collecting again? And I've came up with some conclusions. So I am here to share some of my conclusions based off of my opinions and observations. First, I have never rolled anything quite like this material. There is a very wide variety from agate jasper type material to rhyolite to quartz to stuff I have no idea what the heck it is, but it looks cool, so I polished it. If I don't know what it is, it's called a pretty rock, such as this. And look, there's a shine. It's not the best. It's nothing like what my obsidian is like. But it took a shine. And I am tickled. I am tickled plumb to death with the results. They're not perfect. I was not making them perfect. I was just wanting to get some sort of a polish on them so you could see the colors better. So we're going to go through this, and I'm going to show you some of my favorite ones, some of my unique ones. And I want you guys to leave a comment down below, or do it with however you want to do it, to tell me what you think of this. Because I'm doing this stuff for you guys. I'm helping you guys out and say, hey, it doesn't hurt to take a chance to roll something you've never touched before. So here we go. I'm going to start off with this one right here. This one here is staying in my collection no matter what. Now people will say, oh man, that's a petrified wood because of the lines. Wrong. It's a banded rhyolite. But the lines, the patterns, the colors is what's got my attention on that. I haven't seen anything like this in the other areas I've hounded ever before. But yes, this is a banded rhyolite. And so is this. Now for color-wise, this deer is pretty unique. And as we look at this, yes, there's areas that just like this right here, and there's cracks in it, and divots and voids and vugs and everything else in it. That's fine. Now this is one that was kind of disappointing, because I knew this was an agate to start, because look at that. But Mother Nature was brutal with this rock. It is fractured all throughout. See, you can tell, look at here. And you can see these fractures. There's a couple fractures there. This side here, let's get the polish on it, the shine on it just right. See, you can tell there's fractures all throughout. I am relieved, that's a good word, I am relieved that this survived my tumbling process. Some chips came out of it, but I am relieved. Will I pick more of this stuff up? Only to tumble. So if it's big stuff that won't fit my tumbler, it's going to be left behind. So this is some sort of an agate that's found out there. I am not sure what the name of it is, but if you happen to know what the name of it is, do the same thing that I asked you before. Leave your comment down below and tell me what it is or what you think it is. Pretty rock? Of course. Now here's one here I could care less about. I'll probably never pick another one up like this. It looks okay. Took a little bit of a polish, but it's kind of a plain Jane. So that's one that you're like, well, whatever. And a chunk of quartz with some agate stuff on it. And yeah, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, well, we've seen all this before. But it did take a nice polish. Look at that. I'm going to bring up these two little guys here. Yes, your color is correct. That is a blue agate. I was very surprised to see this. And then another little agate right here. But this blue one, it stays with this one right here. Those two there stay together because that stays in my collection. Another not so interesting one is that one right there. It's not too bad, but took a polish. So that's a kind of a off to the side. Now one that really got my attention. Look at this healed fracture. And there's not a crack in it either. See, look at the reflection. You can tell there's not a crack in it whatsoever. Who knows what happened here? It's been filled up with quartz or agate. And, you know, that's a keeper. I like it just because it's so unique. So that one stays there. Another one. Now this one here could actually be petrified wood. And if somebody come up and said, hey, no, Jaws, that's petrified wood, no doubt about it, I'm not going to argue with you. Because this one here is a very good possibility. It could be petrified wood. I just don't know. But that is a cool one in itself. Nice pink one. Took a good polish. Like that one. Let's dig through here some more. See what else we got. Oh, wow, yes. Now, I'm not much fan of a conglomerate. But this one was not expecting when I found it. Isn't that pretty cool? But look at the detail on that. Nice. Some pretty cool patterns there. Got a piece here. It reminds me of a brecciated jasper, but it's more rhyolite. But it's got the quartz vein in it. We're on the end there. It turned out pretty cool. And it'll set up that way. It will set upright that way too. Now let's see, is there another one in here that grabbed my attention? Let's See, another kind of a quartzy thing, but it took a fantastic polish. This one is similar to this one down here. Probably the same rock type. And I thought there was one more that really grabbed my attention. There's some thin ones here. Wire wrappers. They're nice and thin, lightweight. They got some pretty cool pattern to them. One-of-a-kind pieces. Look how that one there is. Came out of the tumbler ready to be wire wrapped by somebody. Are you that somebody? If you are, let me know. And another one that can get wire wrapped. And it's already naturally domed. And a bigger one that could get wire wrapped. But look at that. See, another heel fracture. So everybody, I'm going to let you guys go. You've probably seen enough. I like this one. Look at the patterns on that. So don't ever say no to going rock hounding someplace new. And if it is someplace new and some material you've never tried before, give it a shot. Tumble it. If it doesn't shine, then you know you don't need to go back. But if it shines, you need to go back and collect more. Oh, look at this here. Isn't that pretty cool? Just remember, everyone's life's an adventure. Then there's mine, polishing these rocks from the Alvord Desert. They turned out pretty stinking cool. What do you think? This is the Adventures of JawsJr. Have a good one, everybody. See ya!